The Basement Secret. My name is Doris. I'm 62 years old, and what I'm about to tell you will forever change how you view your own family. Just 2 days ago, my daughter Karen and her husband Mike locked my husband Earl and me in our basement, planning to blow us up in a staged gas leak to claim our $250,000 farm inheritance. As we huddled in the dark, Earl whispered a desperate secret he'd buried for 30 years. Our daughter had murdered her twin brother in a so-called hunting accident to seize the family farm for herself. But that wasn't the end. Using my quilting scraps, I signaled for help through a tiny window, turning our nightmare into a trap that exposed everything. For over 4 decades, Earl and I built what we thought was the ideal life on our cozy Minnesota farmhouse. Nestled in the rolling fields of rural Olmsted County, our home smelled of fresh baked bread in the mornings and hay in the evenings. I spent my days as a school librarian in the nearby town of Rochester, sharing stories with wide-eyed children about far-off adventures. Earl ran the farm, his calloused hands coaxing corn and soybeans from the rich soil, mending fences under the vast blue sky. We weren't rich by city standards, but the land, passed down from Earl's parents, was worth $250,000, a nest egg for our golden years. We had twins, Karen and Kyle, born 5 minutes apart on a stormy spring day. Kyle was the dreamer, always sketching plans for modernizing the farm with solar panels and irrigation systems. Karen was the practical one, fierce and determined, helping her father with chores from dawn to dusk. As parents, we loved them equally, or so we believed. Sundays meant church in town, followed by family dinners around the scarred oak table Earl had built himself. Laughter echoed as Kyle shared wild ideas about traveling the world, while Karen rolled her eyes and talked about expanding the acreage. Evenings were for us, Earl and I strolling the gravel paths around the property, dreaming of retirement. We'd watch our grandchildren play in the barn, grow old in the house where we'd raised our kids. I quilted in the living room, piecing together fabrics that told stories of our life. A square from Kyle's baby blanket, another from Karen's wedding dress. Earl would tinker in his workshop, building birdhouses or fixing tractors. We were partners, unbreakable, facing blizzards and droughts side by side. But beneath that perfect facade lurked a darkness I never suspected. When the twins turned 18, tensions simmered. Kyle wanted to study agriculture at the University of Minnesota, dreaming of sustainable farming. Karen argued fiercely against it, insisting the money should go toward buying more land. I'd overhear them whispering in the barn, voices rising before falling silent at my approach. Earl dismissed it as sibling rivalry. "They'll sort it out, Doris. Kids will be kids." One crisp autumn day, exactly 30 years ago, during deer hunting season, tragedy struck. Kyle and Karen went out together, rifles slung over their shoulders, as they often did. Earl and I stayed home, preparing venison stew for their return. Hours passed. By dusk, Karen stumbled back alone, tears streaking her face, rifle in hand. "It was an accident, Mom. Kyle slipped on the leaves and his gun went off. I tried to help, but he was gone." The sheriff ruled it a hunting mishap, common in these parts. No foul play, just a tragic slip. We buried Kyle in the family plot behind the barn, under a maple tree he loved. I wore my black wool dress, the one from my mother's funeral, clutching Earl's hand as the wind whipped through the fields. Karen was stoic, dry-eyed, while I sobbed until my throat burned. Earl held us both, whispering comforts that now ring hollow. After Kyle's death, Karen transformed. She became the devoted daughter, taking over farm duties with a zeal that filled the void. She helped me in the kitchen, accompanied Earl on supply runs to town. I thought grief had matured her, made her cherish what remained. How blind I was. She was crafting a mask to hide the predator within.
Years rolled on like the seasons. Karen married Mike, a slick real estate agent from Minneapolis, and they moved to a suburb nearby but visited often. They had no children, but Karen doted on our home, suggesting updates. "Mom, that old wiring is a fire hazard. Let us help modernize." Mike nodded along, his eyes scanning the property like an appraiser. The farm thrived under Earl's steady hand, and we saved diligently, the land's value climbing with the market. 6 months ago, signs of trouble emerged when Earl and I revised our will. At 62, with arthritis creeping in, it made sense. Our estate, the house, 80 acres, savings, totaled $250,000. Karen suggested the lawyer, "Dad, Mom, you're not getting younger. Let's get this sorted so we can care for you properly." Mike added, "We love you guys. This protects everyone."
The attorney, old Mr. Harlan from town, outlined options. Karen pushed for her and Mike as sole heirs. "We'll distribute fairly if grandkids come along, and we'll manage things if you need assisted living." Something in her tone prickled, like ownership, not love. Earl, ever trusting, agreed. I hesitated, remembering Kyle's dreams of inheriting and innovating the farm. But with him gone, Karen was our only child. We signed on a sunny afternoon. Karen hugged me tight. "We're family forever now." Her words chilled me, though I couldn't say why. Post-will, visits intensified. No longer casual, they carried agendas. "Sell some acres, Mom," Mike urged, eyeing the fields. "The market's hot. Turn it into cash for retirement." Karen inspected the house. "This place is too big. What if you fall? We could find a condo in Rochester." But this was our home, every creaky floorboard a memory. The kitchen where I'd taught the twins to bake cookies, the barn where Kyle built forts, the quilt on our bed, stitched with love. I resisted. "We're fine here. This is our life." Karen's eyes flashed irritation. "You're being stubborn, Mom. Think of the upkeep costs." Earl wavered, practical as always. "Maybe they're right, Doris." But I sensed deeper motives. One night, after a tense dinner, I confided in Earl as we washed dishes. "Doesn't it seem odd, Karen's so fixated on our finances?" Earl paused, suds dripping from his hands. "She's just looking out for us." But doubt shadowed his eyes. Now I know he was piecing together fragments he'd ignored for decades. Tensions peaked when Karen demanded power of attorney. "For emergencies," she said sweetly as Mike poured coffee like he owned the place. "If Dad has a stroke, we handle bills seamlessly." Sleepless that night, I called my sister Evelyn in St. Paul. Sharp as a tack, she listened. "Doris, why the rush for control? Karen's got her own career. Unless she's in trouble financially." Evelyn's words struck home. Karen never mentioned money woes, but Mike's real estate firm had hit hard times with the market slump. The next day, I confronted Karen. "Why so eager for our affairs? We're capable." Her face hardened, a cold glint I'd seen before. "It's love, Mom. Responsibility." Mike smoothed, "We want the best for you." That night, Earl and I argued, first in years. "You're paranoid," he said. "Karen's changed since Kyle." "Changed how?" I pressed. "Before Kyle died, she was jealous, always competing." Earl sat heavily at the table. "Doris, there's things about Kyle I never told." My heart hammered. "What things?" He rubbed his face, aged beyond his 65 years old. "The day he died, Karen didn't go hunting alone with him like she said. I followed them. Something felt off. She'd been resentful, arguing about the farm. Kyle wanted to split it equally, but Karen insisted as the hard worker, she deserved more." He paused, voice cracking. I hid in the woods, heard them yell. Kyle accused her of tampering with farm accounts, stealing petty cash for personal stuff. He had proof, threatened to tell us. "What happened?" I whispered. Karen raised her rifle. "You won't ruin me," she said. "It fired, point blank, not an accident." She staged it, dragged his body to look like a fall. Tears streamed down my face.
You knew and said nothing?" "He was dead, Doris." She begged, sobbing. "It was a mistake, Dad. Help me." I couldn't lose both kids. I helped cover it, moved evidence, backed her story to the sheriff, thought she'd reform. "And the money?" I demanded. She never stopped. Small thefts over years. I turned a blind eye, becoming her accomplice. Reeling, I grasped the truth. Karen wanted the farm whole, unchallenged. Now, with debts mounting, Earl had secretly checked. Mike's firm owed $150,000. She eyed our inheritance. "Melissa knows?" "No. Wait, in our story, it's Mike." "I'm sure," Earl said. "He's in on the questions about insurance, property value. Our death's worth." Horror dawned. If she'd kill her twin, why not us? "We go to police," I urged. "With what? I'm complicit. No proof after 30 years. Despair set in. Then the phone rang. "Karen, let's celebrate your anniversary with a family reunion here." Barbecue, games, perfect day. We knew. Invitation to execution. Days blurred in fear, pretending normalcy. Karen and Mike arrived Saturday, arms full of groceries. "Surprise, we'll handle everything." As we chatted in the kitchen, Mike fixed the basement furnace. "Gas line's iffy. Let me check." Suddenly, they shoved us down the stairs, slamming the door. Click. Locked. "Enjoy your nap," Karen called. "Accidents happen." Darkness enveloped us. Faint gas hiss. Earl clutched me. "Play dead if they check." But I wouldn't wait. Spotting the tiny basement window, high, barred, but visible to the road, I grabbed my quilting bag, always stashed there. Scraps, needle, thread. I pieced a bright red flag. "Help! 911! Murder!" in bold fabric letters. Hoisting on a crate, I wedged it through bars, fluttering like a beacon. Hours ticked. Gas thickened, dizzying. Earl weakened. "Love you, Doris." Then sirens. Neighbors saw the flag, called sheriff. Door burst open. Deputies rushed in, ventilating. Karen and Mike upstairs, prepping discovery of bodies, froze. "You alive?" Karen gasped, mask slipping. Sheriff cuffed them. My signal worked. In chaos, I revealed all. Kyle's murder, buried remains in the fields. Earl confessed location. Dig uncovered bones, ballistics matching Karen's old rifle. Trials followed. Karen got life for murder, attempted murder. Mike, accessory, 20 years. Earl faced charges for cover-up, probation, community service. Our marriage strained, but endured. Now, farm sold, we live quietly in town. Quilts hang as reminders. Family secrets unravel, but truth stitches wounds.